Imagine you're in your car, driving down the road coming home from work, and then 3 other busy roads full of traffic suddenly join the road you're on. The traffic would be horrendous. 4 times the number of cars just wouldn't fit on the road. That is unless there were more lanes. Now imagine this, but it's trains fighting over the one road. You don't have to imagine this, it exists right here in the UK, in Manchester. As you're probably aware, this is known as a bottleneck, as a bottle's neck is in fact smaller than the actual bottle itself. Our railway network has quite a few bottlenecks, but nothing compares to the severity of Manchester's Castlefield Corridor and how complex it'd be to solve it. Before we begin, it'd be much appreciated if you like this video if you do happen to enjoy it, and if you want to see future similar content, also consider subscribing to my channel. Manchester's Castlefield Corridor runs through the heart of the city on elevated viaducts, which were built during the Victorian times. The route is surrounded by buildings, other bridges and roads. It looks a lot like an elevated subway viaduct that you'd find in New York City. The line's weaving nature has also made it a bit of a landmark in the city. Just look how great it looks having trains through the city centre. However, this has led to the route's main downfall, its capacity. Right now, trains using the route come from all across England, Wales and even Scotland, as the stations on the route are the perfect way for passengers to reach the centre of Manchester. This sounds ideal, but since there's so much demand to get to Manchester, we've squeezed too many trains into the section of the track, so now it's become a liability for the wider railway network. To add to this, both ends of the 1 mile route contain massive junctions, with trains going west able to continue via 2 different lines to Liverpool, to Bolton via Salford, or to Manchester Victoria via the Odsal Cord, and trains going east can continue to Stockport or Manchester Airport. So this leads to a lot of trains crossing over each other's paths, meaning that the trains are very vulnerable to delays. Right now, 9 trains per hour in each direction use the Castlefield Corridor, these being 1 Transport for Wales service, 3 TransPennine Express services going to completely different directions, 1 East Midlands Railway service, and finally 4 Northern services. This may seem like a lot, but just a few years ago in 2018, a new timetable was introduced which aimed to increase the service on the corridor to 12 trains an hour. This 2018 service increase coincided with the opening of the Odsal Cord, a new curve of track connecting Deansgate and Manchester Victoria, allowing TransPennine Express trains from the airport to reach Leeds without reversing. However, this was only the first phase of an upgrade to the wider route. The second phase included 2 new platforms at Manchester Piccadilly, which are essential if you want to increase the frequency on the Castlefield Corridor anymore. This second phase never happened. It was scrapped over cost grounds by the Transport Secretary at the time, Chris Grayling, who deemed the existing 2 through platforms at Piccadilly enough to handle the increased number of services. Oh, and Chris Grayling had studied history at university, making him totally qualified to make the transport decisions for the country. This decision basically led to the Odsal Cord not working at all. There was no capacity for the increased number of trains on that much of a bottleneck, so it led to a complete standstill when the new timetable was introduced. Combined with there not being enough train crew to operate the new Northern services and other infrastructure projects across the north not being finished on time, the timetable descended into chaos, with nearly 28,000 Northern services being cancelled in the year after the May 2018 timetable change was implemented. So the Odsal Cord, a £100 million connection aiming to revolutionise Manchester's railways, was basically deemed redundant just months after first opening to traffic. After 2018, the timetable was thinned out to improve reliability, and only 1 train per hour now uses the Odsal Cord. Currently, reliability on the route is better than 2018. I mean, it's hard to be worse than that, but it's still not perfect, as any bottleneck in the system with trains coming from across the country will inevitably experience delays. However, there's a new plan to drastically improve the Castlefield Corridor proposed by Transport for Greater Manchester. This plan will dig a tunnel under the city centre, which would carry trains from Manchester Piccadilly to Salford Crescent, before the trains continue north to Bolton and beyond. This project would be similar to London's Elizabeth Line or Thameslink, so not a metro system, but instead a tunnel that carries many different types of trains, including long-distance services. The benefit of this tunnel would be that it bypasses the junctions of the current Castlefield Corridor, so you'd be able to run more trains overall on the network. If you want to see my more detailed ideas on where the tunnel could be, I've made a previous video which I've linked in the description, and it also includes an idea for a second tunnel that carries trams to alleviate the city's other transport bottleneck. This would allow operators to run even more trains than they tried to in 2018, hopefully without the disruption that was caused the last time. But obviously, any tunnel is an expensive undertaking, and getting the billions of pounds of funding from the government would be difficult to achieve. So sadly, I don't see this project materialising anytime soon. So for now, Manchester will continue to squeeze trains through the bottleneck that is the Castlefield Corridor. Thanks for watching today's video. Manchester's transport situation is one of the most interesting I find, so there'll definitely be more videos about it in the future. If you want to see more, please subscribe to my channel, check out my other content, and give this video a like.